Hello, my name is Katrina Canyon, the Executive Director for Peace Economy Project. Today we are talking to one of our fellows, Dhruvi Patel. Dhruvi, can you introduce yourself and tell everyone who you are, where you're coming from, and what you're studying right now?
Hi, my name is Dhruvi, and I am a graduate student from UMSL. I studied psychology, and I live in St. Louis.
What's something about you that people wouldn't learn from your resume or LinkedIn profile?
My curious personality, and I'm such a curious listener. I like to learn about people's lives and learn about people's stories and try to understand their experiences and how it affects their day-to-day lives. One of the example um, I had when I was in India, I had a driver. Um, so I ask a lot of questions, how his day is like, what kind of money he earns, and is it sustainable, and how much hours he works every day, and what he does after he doesn't have after his season is over from tourism, what he does after that, all that kind of stuff. And it makes me curious about other people's lives and see how the societies functions or people in the society make their livable life.
And is this something that first got you interested in the work you do, or what exactly got you interested in the work you do?
uh I've Yes, and also I was driven by inequality, and I came to know awareness how much inequality has been happening, how much concentration of wealth has been happening in United States and everyone else by reducing, getting billionaires getting tax cuts while um, the normal people are living pay to pay check to pay to pay check life.
Was there a moment in a class, a news story, or personal experience when these issues really clicked for you?
I think it clicked when I came to, since I'm from India, I have never educated myself on caste system there. And caste system plays role in financial hierarchy in India. Lower caste would work uh, um, in in lower pay jobs, whereas caste would have a stable life. And I was told that those poor people who was working under $1 per day, they're in the situation because of their caste system.
Hmm.
And I was surprised for their caste because not because of their caste, but also because of the karma that I was being um, taught my whole life, that poor people are poor because of the karma
Mm.
they have done from the previous life. And karma has been a really big part of religion, and we see karma tied to caste system there. And that's when I realized it's not the case. It's the system that fails them, that they're being stuck in the financial situation they are in.
Okay.
And one of the example I when I was thinking about it, I thought of my maids or people who work for me. Like, they were, or people around me. They were they were getting, while I was in India. So the maid were getting paid 250 rupees per day, which is $2 per day.
Mhm.
Um, And then I was thinking to myself, it's just 250 rupees per day for two people. How they're gonna bring, how much they could afford to live their life or just a day. Um, like 250. I, I was just wondering, how can even they get food for a
Right.
meal for the whole family for 250 rupees? It comes nothing. And I just asked questions to my maid, like, oh, what do you cook after you go home? What do you do with the money? Um, she was like, we just cook when we like whatever is in the shop. We don't have things stores in our home. We just it's for us it's a survival thing. It depends on how much money we get every day, and it just makes me sad how much these workers has to live their life like that.
Right. And how did you come across the Peace Economy Project and what drew you to this fellowship?
I came across this peace economy project while I was doing my internship research. Uh, and I was really fascinated about the inequality work that the organizations do, and it was really aligned with my value, and I was really fascinated, and I wanted to contribute to the work the organization is doing.
And when you hear the phrase peace economy, what does that mean to you?
I think for me is where everybody gets their people can afford their basic needs and they don't have to worry about the next meal or the shelter they're gonna live in.
You've done a lot of thinking about corporate power and inequality. How do you see these issues connecting to military spending?
I think military and corporate power are often work together, taking up resources that could be used to help communities, and this kind of budget prioritizations create inequality. Um, because people, if money are if money are going to spend on military funding, there is not enough money to fund schools or affordable housing or any kind of policy that could help working class people.
And why do you think budgets are such an important and often overlooked justice issue?
I think people often think budget are just like it's not over like how do I say this? People don't really pay attention to budget that much. Like I feel like people are very busy to day lives and people don't really know what's the government doing with their budget.
Right.
And so they don't know how much important that is for them or how much the government is spending um, the money for the citizens. And I can give you an example for uh, India. I've been following their politics for a while, but the budget comes every season, and people are not aware what's in the budget and how it's affecting them, or what kind of policies the budget is announcing, and how it's what the government funded and what did not fund, what kind of tax they reduce, what kind of tax they increase, that kind of stuff. And people, some people are working class, or maybe people are very in America, we are very busy, occupied with our work, and so we don't have time to look at that. And I feel like beyond policies, it get overlooked. We often look at policy more than we look at budget, but I feel like it affects vice the other way around. The budget affects the policy, not the other way around.
And what kind of questions are you most excited to explore during your fellowship?
I think I'm excited to explore how its sector of centralized industry of energy, defense, and tech, and how it's affecting military spending and their
What's
role.
okay. And what's one thing you hope people will better understand about military spending by the end of your time with Peace Economy Project?
I think we see military spending as a security, for national security, but those kind of, when we spend that much money on that, when we are not even um, in danger, but we are just using that to imperialize or be in power, we are underfunding our community's well-being.
And if you could redirect even a small portion of military spending, where would you want to see that money go and why?
I would want to go toward housing, because having a safe place to live affects everything in one's personal life.
And what does economic justice look like in everyday life, not just in policy documents?
It's people having the basic wage, I guess, that they could afford to live.
Yeah. What motivates you to keep engaging with hard and heavy topics like inequality and war economies?
It keeps me going to know that there is change possible. Um, Even though there is a system can be against them, there is change possible through conversations, through sharing ideas, and yeah.
Who or what inspires you when you start to feel overwhelmed by the scale of these problems?
I think it's Lena Khan, her work on regulating big tech companies like Amazon. She showed that it is possible to change powerful system and create fairer economic rules and use the economic playbook we have for America antitrust laws we already have in the books, but we have not been using it since many decades, and we have to use it aggressively to have to regulate culprits.
Why do you think work like peace economy projects matters right now?
In a world where there is there's huge inequality, huge wealth concentration where America Elon Musk is about to have $1 trillion while day-to-day life, people in day-to-day life living paycheck to paycheck is not fair. No one should have one worth of GDP money. It's it's a huge lot of money, and one person for one person to have that kind of money. And right now we are also very much focused on military, and right now it's ice the money is going to fund ice, instead of, the school's funding is getting defunded, but the ICE is getting funded in
Right.
America, and we are seeing how the prioritizations of money going and how defunding would affect the future of America instead of funding more to ICE, where they're arresting and detaining innocent people.
Yeah. Is there anything you'd like to say directly to our supporters and community members who make this work possible?
I want to thank them for believing that another way is possible. This work exists because people who are really willing to imagine beyond like what's possible and to support, change. Their commitment makes like followers like me to learn and contribute and grow in an environment that much bigger than one person, and it kind of motivates me that no idea is too big. We are still No system is too big. We can still make small changes even though the system is rigged. We can change things around us, and there and people who are doing this work are inspiring people who wants to do that work. And I just want to thank them for doing this work so other people can be inspired. The younger generations can follow in their footsteps and believe in themselves and say, no, my dream is not too big. I can make change in the world.
Wow, thank you. I'm going to ask you, sorry, I'm going to ask you some quick fire questions and you can just give me the first answer that comes to mind. Coffee or tea?
Coffee,
Reading for research or reading for joy?
both.
One word you associate with justice.
Equality.
One thing that gives you hope right now.
Taking action.
Well, thank you so much, Dhruvi. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And if you want to learn more about Dhruvi's work, you can visit us at peaceeconomyproject.org.
Thank you.
Thank you.